My name is Gareth Jones and I'm one of the founders of MediaVal, which we started 2 years ago. I work in Dublin City University in Ireland, where I have a team of researchers who work on MediaVal type problems. One of the reasons that we like to participate in MediaVal is to share our research experiences with other researchers and to learn from them in terms of working in fields that we're interested in and related fields to take forward evaluation activities in multimedia technologies. When we founded MediaVal, we wanted to set up a workshop for researchers who are interested in a variety of multimedia content, spoken data, visual data, social data, and give them a forum to be able to share research ideas, and in particular to select a range of topics to do research on. We could actually measure and compare performance on tasks. Rather than individuals inventing their own tasks, we want to have a forum to come together and discuss common tasks and common areas of research interest. So this is the second year of MediaVal proper, although actually we started earlier than that, really, as part of a different workshop series. So this is really, I guess, the fourth year. And each year we've had more interest. And I was very surprised and really encouraged by the number of people who've come this year. So in 2010 we had a smallish workshop, less than 40 people. 2011 we have nearly twice as many people, which is great. And people are really enthusiastic about the tasks, and there's lots of ideas for further collaborations, and I think this is very encouraging for the future of this kind of activity. So the tasks at MediaVal arise from various different areas. Sometimes people will just have an interesting research idea, and so it's quite blue sky. But interestingly, a number of our tasks have really come from people with sort of an industrial focus, saying we have this data or we have this potential application area, and we think it'd be very interesting to do research. So some of our tasks are really driven by potential user needs, and others, I say, are much more kind of open research. I think all of them have the potential to have real-world applications. So the amount of digital content around is growing very, very fast, and has been for a number of years, but the rate of increase continues to increase. There are millions of images available to people, large amounts of audio data, huge amounts of video data out there on the World Wide Web, in people's own personal archives, and finding interesting content or content that you looked at before, you want to find again, or you don't even know if it's out there, is an ongoing research problem of search in general. But in MediaVal we're trying to focus on emerging areas of technology, and so some of these I think will have real-world applications. Some of them may have genuine commercial application or will make money for somebody, probably not us, but somebody. And other ones I think maybe have social impact. For example, one of the areas we're looking at this year is the spoken web, which potentially makes content available in spoken form to communities where they don't have access to standard computers, but mobile phone technology is emerging very rapidly. And so this may have strong social impact, although maybe its economic impact won't be so great. But it has considerable potential for real-world impact, I think, and that's kind of exciting and very interesting for us in the future. When we first had the idea for this workshop, we were imagining maybe we would have around, 20 people or something, and it would be a kind of small and informal. And it's managing to be informal still, but the number of people, the increase, from 30 to 60 this year, and thinking about the future, it becomes much harder to kind of manage this number of people and to try to provide them with the kind of workshop experience that they want, so they can discuss and they can present their work. If you have a few people, everyone gets to present their work very easily. If you have large numbers of people, then the number of talks are obviously higher, and then everyone gets a shorter time, and it becomes much harder for everyone to talk about what they're doing. So I think if the workshop becomes much bigger, we have to think about this very carefully to make sure everyone can tell us about their work and has a good opportunity to discuss and share their experiences with the other participants. So a lot of research in language technology, in multimedia, in video is carried out with quite focused technical communities. And so the people in these communities tend to come to know each other very well. They know the technical challenges of those things. And that's very valid, because we want to make progress in algorithms in those areas or something. But one of the interesting things here is that people are coming who don't necessarily know each other, haven't really met each other. They're coming from different communities communities, and I think, or I hope, there's a real opportunity for them to share experiences and for there to be genuine integration and sort of crossing between fields of solutions and potentials for research. And so it's always hard to predict the future. There will definitely be a Medieval 2012 and hopefully more in the future. But what do I think will happen? Well, certainly one thing I hope will happen is that people will take the data sets that are being developed here and use them in their research. So usually people have made a first attempt at using the data, and they get their results, they see other people's results and the techniques, and particularly for the students, I think it would be very nice if they go away and do some more work and then come back and tell us how they managed to improve things. I think if we continually invent new tasks and we never really explore them in detail, we won't be getting the most out of it. But so I really hope to see some people come back and tell us more about the new task. And I guess another thing I'd like somebody to propose a task I've never thought of, and that when I hear about it, I think that is such a great idea. Why didn't I think of that? And we've got to do it. And I'm really hoping that one or two people during this workshop will suggest something like that. Something we have to do next year, and it's just such an obviously great idea, and they're the right person to do it. And that'll be nice if that happens, because it means that Medieval has enabled that to happen. Probably without the right environment, those ideas really wouldn't emerge.